Guys, so today I'm going to be doing a look inspired by Maleficent for you. With Halloween coming up in just a few days, I thought it'd be really fun to do this Cast a Spell beauty book, Disney Villains, and I picked up the Maleficent one. I found this at my local Walgreens. They retailed for around $10. I think it was like $9.99, something like that, so I figured that's a really great price, depending on the quality. You get 9 shadows, a blush, a eyeliner, lipstick, eyeshadow primer, and then a brush. There was also a couple of other ones. There was like an Ursula and an Evil Queen, I believe, were the 3 villain beauty books that they had. So I picked up Maleficent, and then I tried out all of these, and then I'll give you a review at the end of how they all applied and things like that. So to start off, I'm going to first prime my face using the Makeup Forever Base Hydrating Facial Primer. Take a little bit on my finger like that, and then I just put mine in my T-zone because that's where I usually get dry. And then after that, I'm going to go in with my Cover FX Natural Finish Oil-Free Foundation, and I'm in the shade N10. Just going to put that on the back of my hand, and then use a wet beauty blender to apply. After finishing that, I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I'm just going to do this to kind of highlight the face and brighten up the eyes. Put some there on both sides. Down the nose. And then going in with the same beauty blender, just kind of blend that out. And then to set my under eye concealer, I'm going to go in with the NARS Olympia Duo, and I'm going to use the lighter shade. I'm just going to put that all underneath my eye. Okay. So now that our face has been primed and foundation, and now we have a little bit of concealer, we're going to go in with the palette. So the one that I picked was the Maleficent palette because it had, like, I thought, really cool colors and everything like that. So we're first going to go in with the eyeshadow primer to see how that works out. And they're really stuck in here. So it's a little small eyeshadow primer. Just going to put that on my finger. Okay, so it comes out flesh colored. It's a little oily and slippery, but we'll see how it goes on. I'm just going to take my ring finger and then pat that all over the eye. And then do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, well, I'm going to let that set for a little bit just because it is a little tacky and wet. Doesn't really have much of a scent though, which is nice. And then while my eyeshadow primer is going to set a little bit, since it was a little bit wet and tacky going on my eyes, I'm going to go in with my bronzer. So the one I'm going to use is going back to that NARS Olympia Duo, and I'm going to go in with the contouring shade. And then just a Sigma angled contouring brush. I like to use this just on the perimeter of my face to kind of warm it up and give me a little bit more of a contoured look. And then after I'm done with that, I go in with a second bronzer, which is the Hoola by Benefit bronzer. And I just lightly redust that over the hollows of my cheeks. And then I go in with a clean powder brush and just kind of blend that into the skin. And then I'm now going to go in with the blush in the set called Evil Enchantress with another Sigma angled brush. Oh, it's definitely really powdery. So you have to use a light hand. And so now that I have the blush done, I'm going to go back and work on my eyes, and I'm actually going to use the brush provided for part of it. It's actually really soft and nice. It'd be good for shading in the future, but I kind of want to see how it does with the eyeshadows. So I'm going to go in first with the lighter pink color. I'm just going to put that all over my eyes. This color is called Slumber. Pick that up on the brush and then just pack that all over the eye. And then after I have that all over the eye, I'm going to then go in with this darker pink right here into the outer corner and kind of make it a transition shade. And then after putting those two shades in, I'm just going to go in with a blending brush and kind of blend, just to kind of give it a seamless edge, make sure there's no awkward color transition. After that, I'm going to go in with a brush like this. It's an Morphe M153, and I'm going to go in with the darker purple here in the middle called Flame. This one right here. And then I'm going to kind of darken up the outer corner with that. And then as I've gotten that kind of on the lid as much as possible, I'm going to go back with my blending brush and kind of try and blend the edges out right along the crease. And then I'm going to do that to the other eye. And after I've done both upper lids, I'm going to go in with this dark shade here called Fairy. I'm going to put that on the lower lash line. So then I'm going to go in with the eyeliner that's provided now. So it looks like this. And then it has the purple little flame on there, and then it's a twist top. Then with a tiny little brush. And then so I'm going to go in and then I'm going to attempt to do a wing. I've swatched this before and it was very, very wet. So if this is something that you'd be interested in and you aren't strong in working with wet eyeliners and you prefer gel or a pencil, something like that, that's definitely something that you could substitute for. So I'm going to try and do this with this applicator and see how it goes. I'm going to rub off some, I would recommend rubbing off some of the residual product on it because it does look like it builds up on the brush and will be really clumpy. Okay, so now that I finished the wing on both sides, kind of on the eyeliner. I did kind of find that it dried out towards the end of this eye, so it's definitely something that if you're wanting to do this for Halloween, it's great. But this is probably a 1, maybe 2 time use product, because it was getting harder to apply on the second eye just because there was less product on it. So then next I'm going to go in with my So then next I'm going to go in with a black eyeliner underneath for my under waterline. So the next one I'm going to do is go in with Zero by Urban Decay. It's just a black pencil eyeliner. I'm going to do that underneath my eye to kind of darken it up and smolder the look a little bit. So I'm going to look up and just... and then I kind of connect the wing, and then I kind of connect the wing with the under eye. To do that, I'm going to go in with the same brush that I took that dark purple in. I'm going to do that again, go in with the dark purple one more time, and just kind of blend out a little bit, just so it's not quite as harsh. And then I'm going to go in again with just another little brush. Make sure that's nice and blended. So I feel like I look a little dark and intense. So I'm going to go in with the mascara, just kind of amp it up a little bit. And I'm going to go in, so I go in underneath and then at the tail, and I fill in the tail a little bit heavier and put it at a nice sharp point, and then fill in and make that arch, and then fill in where I'm a little bit sparse up here, and then I just comb the product through, kind of make it look a little bit more natural, and then I'm going to do the other eyebrow. So the next I'm going to go in with the lipstick provided, which is really hard to get out, so that was pretty easy compared to when I tried to get it out to swatch it before. So you take this, it's in this kind of makeup lipstick tube. It's not exactly the highest quality tube, but let's see how the lipstick applies. Oh, that's very pink. Okay, so this is the final look for my Maleficent Disney Villains lookbook, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Now that I'm kind of finished the tutorial, you've seen how I've applied the makeup, I'm going to give you a little bit of a review and kind of tell you what I think of the product in general and everything like that. So as I showed you, the packaging is like this. I think it's really fun and cool. It comes with like a Maleficent on the side, so something that's really cute and fun. And for $10, that's not a bad, thing. I think the packaging on the inside's a little cheap. Like, I don't like this little flimsy plastic. I guess in the interest of keeping the makeup sanitary, it was nice in the store, but I'm not a huge fan of it for practicality purposes, using it on a daily basis. And then over here is a little mirror, and then open up and there's a day and a nighttime look instructions. So if you don't know kind of what to do with the colors, you can look at this for a little bit of inspiration. And then that you get 9 shadows, which I found to be relatively nice quality. You are spending $10 so for all of this stuff. So it's not the best eyeshadow I've ever used, but it's also not the worst. The only one I did not like was Vanish, this lighter shade here. Maybe it was because I used the Fix Plus, so if that's kind of something to take into consideration. But even swatching it, it seemed really chalky and kind of dusty, like chalky, and kept falling off. So, and on my lid right now, I don't think it looks the greatest. I think it's a little bit streaky and not fully built up universally, even though I really tried to pack that on. So that's kind of the only dead color that I have found out of the ones I used. Everything else swatches really nicely, but then going on the lid it might be a little bit different. So if you have kind of a different perspective, just leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions. And then there is the blush, which is called Evil Enchantress. And I think it's a nice blush. It's a little bit orange for me, my personal use, especially going into fall. It's might be something I would use again in the spring or summer, but just for right now, it's not something that I personally love on myself. But I think it was a nice blush. It was a little dusty, and when it first went on, it was kind of like, whoa, but just it blended out nicely. I didn't have a huge problem with it, so that was pretty nice. The eyeshadow primer, when I initially took it out of the tube, was very oily and kind of separated, but mixing it together and applying it to my eye, it felt tacky. So it's not my favorite eyeshadow primer, but you are getting it in a cost-efficient palette. So it is something that is usable. My eyes don't feel irritated or anything from using it, so that's definitely a bonus. And then the eyeliner, as I said, it kind of seemed to dry up a little bit by the time I was putting it on the second eye, but it was which is kind of odd because it was initially really wet when I was putting it on the first eye. And then that's it for my tutorial and review. I hope you guys really liked it, and if you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback and maybe see what you guys want to see next and stuff like that. So I hope you guys have a great Halloween, and